Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of TEDxMellenStreet Live, where we're here to talk to our speakers that's going to be on the stage at TEDxMellenStreet on November the 18th here in Hampton, Virginia. And I am your host and curator, Sacha Walton, and I'm excited to be a part of this and to lead this whole journey for our 19 speakers that's going to be on the platform. And we've had some phenomenal interviews so far, and a lot more to come in the episodes for this podcast. But today I have my special guest, Chazeray Chaz Jackson. He has an amazing story, and I can't wait till you hear about him and the things that he's doing in his world. And as we prepare for the TEDx event. But first, I do have to say thank you to my sponsor, Connected Compass, who is out here making dreams come true and making a difference for minority men and women to get more involved in STEM, in the technology and AI division. And I want to say thank you to the founder, Tanya, who is so amazing and awesome. Thank you for being a sponsor for our event, and to Connect the Compass. Thank you so much. And so I am going to go ahead and just bring up Chaz and just go ahead and get into this whole conversation. And so hey, Chaz, how are you?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Sasha. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Thank you for having me on.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you're doing well and you're blessed and everything. But I want you to tell everyone that's watching, who is Chazeray Chaz Jackson?
Wow. Awesome question. Hey, everybody out there. Who is Chaz Jackson? I first just want to just start off by saying how grateful and honored I am to be a part of this mission that Mullen Street is accomplishing, being a speaker at TEDxMellenStreet. And who is Chaz Jackson? Chaz is a son. He's a brother. He's a cousin. He's a friend. He's a former collegiate football athlete, D1 collegiate football athlete. Played in North Carolina. Grew up in North Carolina. I feel like my early childhood growing up to my adulthood, as many of us can say, is molded, chiseled, and shaped me into the husband that I am. It'd be 10 years. I'm married this upcoming November 9th. If you ever meet my wife, her name's Amy. Give her $1, give her a hug. I don't see how she put up with me that long, but she's definitely the MVP. She's given me 3 wonderful children, Zuri, Mila, and Nico, 8, 5, and 1 in that order. So husband, father, healthcare professional, pastor. I'm the owner of Gift and the Gift, a platform that provides me to be a youth and teen leader that I am right now. So those are some of my whys, and that's what accumulates and make up who Chaz Jackson is.
That's awesome. I love your whys. And I know that behind every why, there's a backstory. And I see that you're passionate about working with athletes and, whether male or female youth athletes, and getting them prepared for the real world as they transition out. And so let's just kind of backtrack just a little bit and talk about what is your backstory behind the purpose and how you are so driven to do what you do right now.
Wonderful question. And yeah, I'll go back. I know we're using this athletics perspective. 9, 10 years old is when I put a football helmet on for the first time. And one of the things that we all seek in some shape, way, or form is attention. If you really just back up at that perspective and look at it, and the sport of football provided that for me, whether it was coaches, family members, teachers, friends. And my identity was built under that helmet. Looking at that as a Black boy growing up in America, when I think about looking through, the window of success, a lot of things that I saw on television was, people that look like me find success in whether it's entertainment or sports or music, or one of those things. So I feel like football kind of gravitated towards me, and it gave me a vehicle to create a better life. My parents did the best they knew how to do, but growing up in the environment that I grew up in, it created some adverse childhood experiences. And yeah, I think vehicle, this gave me a source, this submerge myself in and create authentic relationships and and again, be a vehicle to get me, me being a man of faith, what the Lord was calling me to get to. So
That's amazing and awesome. That is, I love that. How you've taken all of that and just used it as a part of, taking your purpose out of it and really igniting other people and supporting your community and those around the world, actually, and throughout the states. I know that you are an author, you're a best-selling author. You are a leader, you're a speaker, and you just have so many phenomenal things going on. And then to add to it, you're an upcoming TEDx speaker for TEDxMellenStreet.
yeah,
And
let's
so,
go. Let's
yes,
go.
that's amazing and awesome. I know a lot of times people probably like look at this, these podcasts and say, well, look, okay, Sacha, you're the host, you're the curator. You already know he is going to be, these people are already on the stage, they're going to be on the stage. But I think about, not just, I mean, it's the journey towards, the stage. Once you're selected, it's the journey towards the stage. But then there's a journey that takes you so much further afterwards. And
Wow.
so, and I think about that and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have that title, in your biography, in your, your one sheet and everything else you may have, and just say, you know what, your life can change based upon that being there. And I'm so excited for everyone who is going to be on the stage and have that opportunity to do so. And I would ask you, so our theme is power of inclusion.
Mm.
And, without talking about the talk and the topic that you're going to be talking about, because we want them to be there to hear all that. But, I want you to, really share like how important it is for the power of inclusion to be active in society.
Wow. Awesome question. And I truly believe it's very, 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 very important. And for those who are listening right now, I encourage you to be on the lookout for each and every one of these amazing speakers to be released, because when you really think about the power of inclusion, there's so many angles and directions and ways that you can tackle it based off of the way that you're looking at the world through your own lenses. So I am super excited to listen to each and every one of the speakers, but also share my story about how passionate of my topic that I'm going to be discussing about has molded, shaped, and orchestrated who I am today. And I had to do a lot of deep diving within myself to really make this talk genuine and authentic, as many of the other speakers are doing. But to kind of talk a little bit more about the power of inclusion is very important. And when I think about this idea of social embrace. And as I was doing my studying and my research on inclusion in itself, I came across a study talking about inclusive leadership in a work setting. And what I've discovered, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, Sacha, is when you take an individual, a human, as far as mentality, willpower, emotionally, in order for them to truly create a positive psychological will for themselves, or to create urgency to be successful, it requires being in a group setting. It requires creativity, collaboration to really thrive, to build those relationships, to really make you the best person or the best version of yourself. But within that, the study showed that, yes, you need that inclusion, you need that relationship building, but you also need the individuality that comes out of that, your uniqueness. What do you bring to that group? What do you bring to that relationship to make you unique and make you stand out, to make that relationship grow even more? So I feel like there's so much power that comes out of that. And I've been talking about being an athlete and playing all the way up to the collegiate level. And that was one of the things that stood out to me, being an athlete, is the collaboration, that uniqueness, the relationships that are built, the passion, the grit that was, the integrity, the commitment that was brought out of that group, but also the uniqueness, the individuality that I brought to it, that they knew that, hey, they can count on me to impact and influence of making that goal come to life for the group or team. So when I think about the power of inclusion, again, the moral of what I'm sharing is social embrace, but also discovering that we need to create and collaborate to thrive and build healthy psychological wealth and being, but also discovering our individuality, what makes us tick within that group, organization, team, whether that's in the workforce, in school, wherever you can draw the line and plug in the blank, whoever's listening to me, whatever lane you're in, but being a part of that collaboration. But what is your uniqueness? Because I believe we're all gifted differently to make a difference. Do you know why? Whoever's listening to me? Because greatness made you, therefore greatness is within you. So you have some individuality to add to your groups, and I'm excited with my talk to helping people discover that.
That's awesome. Greatness made you. I love that. I love that. And I love the perspective that you have when you're talking about, having that social embrace, of course, in groups and being active, but also finding your own self within it, that individuality that you find within yourself. Because a lot of times when we think about inclusion, we think about all the external aspects of inclusion, from diversity or, things around us, thinking outside the box. But that also, to understand that individuality of ourselves and to find that, we have to understand that there's a self-inclusion too, because a lot of times inwardly we can scale back and say, oh, I'm going to exclude myself from the social embrace because of whatever factors, whatever things that could happen or have happened. And you don't even think about how we can impact that inclusion first from within. So when you're, tacking on that part of what you said and the greatness in you, made you and everything, it's just like, oh, this is deep here, so much to unpack. And but those are some valid points that I think that we don't really think about. We're just constantly moving day in, day out, whether it happens, whether it doesn't happen. And I think the prime example is like you've been talking about when you're kids, think about being on the schools, doing recess and everybody's out there playing. You got that one kid's off to the side waiting for somebody to say, hey, come on, join us. Then you got the other kid be like, I don't care. I'm going to join. Which team I'm going to be on? I'm going to be right there. And then you look at them like, nobody asked you. They don't care. But they're going to say, look, hey, I'm worth the inclusion. And then that other kid staying off to the side, might be an introvert or whatever. Might be like, you know what? I'll wait.
Right.
But when we wait, we can miss out on so many things and the opportunities and experiences. And I know with you, you're just going on, you have your family, you're not waiting. You're like, you got your family, you have purpose, active in that. You're a pastor. I just learned that's something new about you. And, but then you're active in society and everything, and you're doing a lot, even with projects. I know you have some projects brewing. And the one thing that I really like that you talked about, of course, you got a new book, but we're not going to talk about that coming out soon. But we're going to let people know about that when it comes. But, the one thing that you are doing when you're working with athletes, those who are in high school and in college, to prepare them for that transition into the real world. And so how is that impacting the community at large for you? And actually throughout the United States when you're talking about it?
Wow, awesome question. And if it's okay, I'll only give you a statistic here. So when we're talking about athletes, when they go into post-retirement, if you take 5 athletes in a room, studies show that 4 out of 5 of those athletes will have some type of struggle for the first 2 years post-retirement of that sport. 1 out of 5 of those athletes will have what we call a crisis transition, meaning they will develop poor mental health. There will be some disengagement. There will be some psychological distress. And for me, and I'm kind of dipping into the talk just a little bit here, not too much. We got to keep a little bit on the table. Keep you guys curious. But the moral of me sharing that statistic, for me, it speaks volumes to me, because I was one of those crisis transitions. I was the 1 out of 5 where I went on this season of self-sabotage, and what I discovered was, I didn't prepare in a proper sense of not truly being that athlete. So what I love to do in the project that we're working on, my team is really building a program to where when these our young kids are going through sports, is understanding, hey, I'm not just an athlete, period. I'm an athlete, comma. I'm an athlete and a son or daughter. I'm an
Mhm.
athlete, you know, and or whatever my passion may look like. And, you
Yeah.
know, whoever's listening to me, you can draw the line and plug in the blank of what you're uh, cultivating, your passions, your whys, or
Mhm.
however the case may be. But you're more than just an athlete, and really allowing them and helping them cultivate how to build more clarity, more focus, Sasha, more consistency on going all in on being an athlete, because that's a beautiful thing, not taking anything wrong away from being an athlete, but truly understanding that you are more, that you can offer more, and really cultivating that side. And I mentioned earlier, for me, you know, starting from 10 all the way to the collegiate level, playing pee-wees all the way to that point of my life, you know, I built mainly on the identity of Chaz the athlete, but not Chaz the human. And I'm
Mhm.
really passionate about, you know, I see what kind of trials and tribulations, what type of frictions and problems it created for me. I'm just in a position now where I found some solutions to the problems that I went through. And
Mhm.
now I'm at a position where I'm ready to give back and say, hey, I made some mistakes, as I'm talking to some of my collegiate athletes and my seniors in high school already at this point, and I have some of them kind of collaborate with me on what will make sense, and building clarity on how to present this a program in at a more deeper level as we continue to push this thing to really grow more this year and moving into 24. But the moral of all of that is putting them in a position to be the best human and the best athlete possible, and understanding, again, you're not just an athlete, period. You are an athlete and more. So
Wow, I love that. You're not just an athlete, period. But that comma there, you're an athlete and more. That's so a phenomenal and wonderful thing that you're doing, because we see it day in, day out. There's a lot of times, we hear on the news, or this high school athlete or the college athlete, or even professional athletes. They transition as well, and sometimes they don't transition well, depending on what's their going on in their lives. So I
exactly.
thank you for what you're doing in the lives of those players and athletes, so in that way they can walk in purpose and not walk confused, or self-sabotage themselves. Like you said, they can have a plan and go forth in something great. So thank you so much for that, Chaz. And any before we close out, any final words of wisdom that you would like to give everyone who's listening?
Yes. Um, One of my favorite quotes by Marianne Williamson, and she says this. She says, "Our deepest fears is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light." Listen to me. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Whoever's looking at me, whoever's listening to me right now, who are you not to be? So I just want to encourage you to find your uniqueness, find your individuality, find your gifts and talents, to manifest them within the group that you find, the inclusion, that diversity, because they're looking for you, looking for you to join their group, join their organization, join their relationships, to bring that gift to life, or what that dream to life, that group or that organization is looking to bring forward. So just know that you are gifted differently to make a difference, and continue to shine your light.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that. And closing us out with that. And everybody, I thank you for watching. And remember, TEDxMellenStreet is going to be on November the 18th at the Historic American Theater in Hampton, Virginia. And Chaz, and amongst some other phenomenal, like, we had a lot of great people in auditions. It was hard to really even narrow that down. So we do have a lot of great speakers that you will hear from on this podcast, as well as on the stage when you do attend the event. And once again, I just want to say thank you to our sponsor, Connected Compass, who is out here doing amazing things in the area of STEM and the technology and AI field for minority men and women. And thank you, Tanya Fields, for being our sponsor. And on that note, you guys, we will be back again with another podcast and another episode with another phenomenal speaker. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you, Chaz. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Enjoy
Thank
your
you,
day.
Tasha.
Thank you.